back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Bryce, talking to you about you and your business. Continuing that theme of, people with radio show ideas, we're going to be spending some time with Dorit Sassoon, and she's with her website is Giving a Voice to the Voiceless Book.com, and her idea is, I think, rather interesting. Looking forward to spending some time learning more about it. Dorit, welcome to the program. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your background. Kind of give us a little bit of information.
Sure. Well, I'm a writer. I'm a memoirist, and I just got a contract for my memoir about serving in the Israeli Defense Forces as an American female immigrant. And so part of my motivation when I as a writer, interview other authors for my show, I felt that this was a best way to showcase their talents, their ideas, their stories, their journey. And so that was part of the other hat that I wear, is the writing hat and the interviewing hat as a radio show host.
Okay, so tell us about the show and what its current status.
Yeah, so I interview authors and entrepreneurs who have a heartfelt message that they want to share with their peeps, their listeners. Radio show is a very influential way to build your brand, and books are a wonderful personal way to build your brand. So radio shows are an easy, quick, convenient, sometimes even free, or cost-friendly way to get your message out there. And so I interview authors and entrepreneurs who have a book written or published or in the process of being published or written, and to help them share their message, whether it's something about an emotional issue or a business-related issue that they want to share with the world. So it's a very impactful way to help them spread their message, and some of them really, have a very deep message that they want to share with the world.
So I'm looking at the website, and I'm trying to find, are the audios archived there, or where do people...
Yeah.
Okay, where would I find them?
Actually, if I give you the website, it's actually part of a network.
Okay.
And it's called the Creating Calm Network, and it's not part of my site because I would do hosting through them. And so it's part of the Creating Calm Network, and that is just by Googling Creating Calm Network, and you will see it being pulled up under my name if you Google Dorit Sasson along with it. And so the Creating Calm Network has many visionaries, many people who have books, writing, in the process of writing, healers, speakers of different genres, and so it's part of that network of radio show hosts.
Interesting. And these are all podcasts?
These are all, they can be arranged as podcasts. They are also given they are done as podcasts and also done through the audio. Like once upon a time, the network was part of Blog Talk Radio. Some of them are archived under Blog Talk Radio.
Right, but they're all audio. They're not video.
Right, all audio.
So I do see some video there, but I think it's just mainly informational about yourself rather than about the actual program itself. And so, interesting. And how long have you been doing this?
So this started in July of 2013, and it's been going on. I've been, trying to keep up the pace with the consistency. I took a little bit of a breather, a hiatus. I'm back in the programming at the end of this month. So I've been doing it for about almost 2 years now.
Okay. How frequently do you do them?
I try to do one every week or every 2 weeks, depending on how fast I can read the material. So some of the books I feel obligated to read simply because I need to know who I'm interviewing. Sometimes people might argue and say, well, why do you have to read the whole book? I feel like I need to know who I'm interviewing and what their message and their story is. So it can be an average of 1 to 2 weeks generally.
Okay. And how long is each interview?
Each interview is approximately 45 to 60 minutes. Some of the interviews were shorter because the person didn't have enough time or something, but in general, they're ranging between 45 and 60 minutes on an average.
Interesting. So, and obviously you think it would translate well for broadcast as well. Talk about why you feel like that is compelling.
Why do radio shows?
Why do both, I guess, is what the question is. I guess just for a broader reach, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed Julia Cameron. She's a very, very strong author. She wrote The Artist's Way. I interviewed some really important authors of note, like the daughter of Anne Sexton, Linda Gray Sexton, the Pulitzer Prize winner. So some of these authors who people have known over time by their books don't know them as speakers with, and sometimes their messages are even stronger via audio. And so it's easier to kind of get the gist of what they've been writing about for their books in a shorter segment, and people don't have time these days. So I think the way it's set up on the site makes it easier for people to kind of, I know that person, let me listen. And let me check out her book. So it kind of blends the brand and the message in a shorter segment, and then people have the decision that can decide whether or not they want to buy the book or check out the website. So it can be a very user-friendly way to get to know the other person, the other writer.
Talk a little bit about the type of clients you have that you help them produce either shows or programs. Talk a little bit about how that works.
Sure. Well, it's interesting that you asked that, because some of the clients that come to me, they actually listen to the show. And they say, well, I've been hearing you talk about, how to write your story, and I have this burning story, but I don't know which story to choose. And I have this story and that story and this story. And so they connect with me that way, and then through a process of clarity, we kind of get to know what issue is burning for that client. And so I end up, working as a consultant for that client and helping him or her understand, the process, and then picking the story, and then working with some of the snags. And so that's one way clients find out who I am, because of the kind of work that I do. The other kind of client that will find me out is the client who is big on building a platform. And today in the author writing publishing world, platform is very big. You need to have a platform in order to get an agent, and they look at your size and your numbers and your followers and your Twitter fans, and they don't really sign you on unless you have like a really big following, because they want to have that sellable platform. So I have clients who come to me and ask me to help them work their platform. How can they increase their content marketing? How can they increase their blogging strategy? What can they do to reach their target readers? And so those are two main kinds of clients that actually come to me. They're not interested so much in doing radio show hosting, because they find that it's a little time consuming and they want to start building a name for themselves really quickly. So they're more interested in how I can help them do copywriting, do content marketing strategies, help them with their brands, help them build their personal brands, help them blog more frequently, because I do interview authors who are talking about their platforms and how they've been able to reach a very sizable audience and sell more books, reach more people with their messages. And so those are the two kinds of clients that I have.
Yeah, very good. Final thoughts before I let you go.
I'm sorry?
Do you have any final thoughts before I let you go?
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. Just keep writing. I mean, if you have a story that you know that is something that you need to write, I really honestly believe that there's no better time than the present to get that story out, because a lot of people, they wait for the perfect moment, and there is no such thing as the perfect moment. And if you want to build build your Twitter fan or whatever, those are things that you can do. They're achievable, they're reachable, but there's no such thing as a perfect moment. So I believe in action. I believe in taking action.
Thanks so much for being with us. I appreciate it. And do want to mention again the website, Giving a Voice to the Voiceless Book. And Dorit Sassoon, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at usdatareview.com, and this is The Price of Business.
Rising.